Ladies and gents, welcome back. This is the live stream. We are having a good night tonight. It's been a heck of a week. For me, it's been busy. The weather's been all over the place here in British Columbia. It was kind of cold for a bit, and then it got warmer. It got warmer, and now I've got the air conditioner going. So let me know if you hear this too much, because it is just wow. It's too warm in here with the computer and all that stuff running. To not have the air conditioner going, but hey, we'll try to make do with this, with what we've got. Oh, you guys liking the thumbnail? That's let's get the chat in here. Here we go. I was just messing around, so I've been having some fun actually with sharing stuff on the channel. I've been getting into the shorts, and I've renewed my love for editing actually. And I used to do a lot of editing years ago, and then I got into live production, and live production kind of took the high road. I guess it took priority over all the other things. And what I do for recording videos in each morning, in order to save time, I don't edit anything. Everything I do it as if it's a live production. I just hit record and then record the videos. So it's all one take every morning. So that's how I've been publishing videos for a year and a half now. And I've just renewed my love for editing, and that's been in getting into shorts and just having fun and messing around with some of the artistic stuff with the channel. If you're new here, by the way, this is the Friday night live stream. This is when I get a chance to give back to the community, have some fun, have some laughs, hang out with the chat. This is what it's all about on these Friday live streams. Again, if you're new to the channel, what I do here every week is every morning I do videos before I go off to work and pull wrenches for a living. I'm an auto mechanic by day, and by even earlier morning, I do news and politics. And then on Fridays in the evenings, I like to give back to the channel, to all you great people that contribute to the channel, as we're seeing here by Captain Wrecked with the new membership. Thanks for joining. Awesome. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I give back to the community of you guys who are so great for watching all the videos and commenting and liking and all of that stuff, sharing it all out. By the way, don't forget to hit that like button. It's just right down below where you can hit the like button, and what it does is it tells the algorithmic gods with a little g that this content's great. And you know what? For your demographic, you would recommend that to other people, to the algorithm, to recommend this stuff out so that the channel can grow, so we can get more news stories out there to so many other people out there in Canada and in the world as well. And I have my chat down here, so if I'm looking off to the side, that's what I'm doing here. But yes, I've been having lots of fun with this, getting that all the editing and all that stuff. I made a little promo. By the way, let me know in the chat here, where did you get the notification for this here live stream tonight? Because I've been putting it out on social media elsewhere as well. And one of the places I did that was Twitter. And I'll show you what the video I did, because it just made me laugh. I'm being a dork anyway. I might as well just make it official. This is a video that I put out on Twitter to entice people to come to the live stream. I don't know if it'll work or it'll drive people away, but it's funny in my opinion. Welcome back. We're live right now over on YouTube. I even made this awesome thumbnail for the video. I'll put that in the description. We'll see you over there. The link is right above here. Click that link. Join us live. I thought that was fun. Hey, what do you guys think? Now, I've been messing around with the thumbnails, and that's why I did that, because I see people with okay, so like, I try to do my thumbnails in a way, and you probably see it on the channel, where I try to keep the thumbnails all relevant. But I've been seeing so many people with the clickbaity titles, and there's a certain amount of clickbait that I do use. You have to entice people in, but without being a total something else. But I thought this was really fun. I took it seems like the most common image of Trudeau, but it's not good enough. You gotta have more. And I was like, it's not enough unless you got arrows pointing at it. And I just called myself out for having the ultimate the ultimate clickbait thumbnail. But I found out that wasn't enough. I needed to add the YouTuber face. So I threw that in there as well. But hey, why not? No, that's fun. No more. No more. Okay. I'm just having some fun. And this isn't the first time I've had fun like this. What was it? I did one a while back, and I made it for those that haven't been part of the channel for that long. I made one this one a good while back. Let me just pop this up here. This was watch this video. It's super duper clickbait algorithm optimized. This is from I think it was about a year ago or something. I just think it's fun because I mean I spend so much time at this YouTube game. I notice things out in the community and how things work on the website, but yeah, I just just having too much fun with this stuff. It's fun, and I like to share it out with you guys, and why not for the live stream? I mean, I wouldn't put this out there for my usual content, but for the live stream, it seems fun. It'll just get buried in all the other live streams on the channel, by the way. And let's go to the channel for that. So this is something that I've been putting together for everybody on the channel. And I forgot I need to get a shorts feed on the channel because, well, the shorts are here, but on the home page. So for those that don't really navigate this much, if you go to the channel page on anyone's YouTube channel, there's a bunch of different tabs, and this is great. You got the videos tab, which is the usual content, and it's in chronological order. And then you've got the shorts, which I've been getting into recently and having actually a lot of fun with these shorts and putting them together. Here's the one that I released today.
Just turned to me, made a face, and gave the finger to me. I don't even know how you categorize that in the House of Commons.
I did see the member from Kingston make an objectionable sign to the opposition with his finger.
I admit that what the members are indicating that I did do, and I unreservedly apologize for displaying my frustration that way.
Liberal MP from Kingston, Mark Garretson, not always on his best behavior in Parliament.
He just asked and questioned whether I was towing a Liberal Party line or a Communist Party of China line. My response to that member is, let's go outside and say it to me in public where you do not have the parliamentary privilege that you have in this room. My response to that member is,
catch me outside, how about that?
Okay, obviously, that's not what he meant. He didn't mean that he wanted to go out for a fight. He meant go outside, so when you say these things, I could sue you for it. That's usually the line in Parliament when they say, let's take this outside and say that to me out there. It's not, let's have fisticuffs. I don't think any of them really ever want to have fisticuffs with anybody. But for those of you that are fans of the channel, you guys have been hanging around, you're part of the community, and if you haven't noticed, I've been doing these shorts. It's a lot of fun. Some people didn't like the idea of shorts at first, but I've been using it as a way to just have some fun. Some of them are more serious and some of them are more lighthearted and fun like that, just kind of like the channel. Sometimes I'm a little more serious and sometimes a little bit more lighthearted. And I've just been putting them out there just as another way of expressing myself and having fun with all of you guys as a community, as well as the communities tab. So there are other people that don't realize. So you have also the live tab, and this is all the live streams. You can see all those other thumbnails that I had. That was when I went to Japan. I didn't have a thumbnail loaded for some reason, but and then there's the podcasts, and then wow, all the way down here, communities tab, the community tab. And that's where I post a lot of memes. And some of these ones are great. Like Trudeau playing guitar saying this song is called "The RCMP Won't Investigate Me." They're one of my favorites. Thank God for these fact checks. I almost thought the government was tyrannical for a second there. And I saw in the chat before we got going here. By the way, here's the chat. I saw in the chat before we got going here somebody saying, "I need a laugh, Clyde. Let's see some good memes." So this is what it's about, man. You can always check out the communities tab on the channel. I'll post memes there. For those that aren't involved in the Discord, of course, Discord link is always in the description down below. You can check out the Discord. It's another social media app that you can go. We have a community going on there, and a lot of people sharing memes. I try to take my favorites from that and post them in the communities tab, because it's just, oh, it's a lot of fun. Shorts are better than kilts, Clyde. Just so you know, I haven't worn one in a long time, but when I was younger, I was a pipe player in a pipe band in Windsor, Ontario. I played for the Scottish Club pipe band at the age of like 13, and yeah, I used to wear a kilt. It's what you do. It's what you do. Hi, Clyde. Honk honk. Keep on trucking. Thanks, Dom. Dom for good. Keep on trucking. Cheers. Yes. So yeah, kilts. Kilts are, yeah. It's a man's thing. It's a man's thing to do. It's a thing. And, oh yeah, and a new twist coming for the coming food shortage here. This is something I hadn't foreseen. As you know, I've been making a lot of economic predictions, ones that I haven't changed. I've maintained over about 10 years. I just think that these things are happening, and they're finally coming true. The economic situation. But hey, this is a new thing that I had not seen coming. This is, of course, the egg shortage, because hens are identifying as roosters now. Oh, what do you do with that? And of course, yesterday's passing of Bill C-18 has us one step closer to the authoritarian Canada Trudeau has been working on. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that in a little bit. I did a video on it this morning. If you hadn't caught up on that, you can watch that later. But I'm gonna be covering a bunch of what I covered in that video tonight in this here live stream for the next good 2 hours. I think we will go, as long as my voice holds out for this whole time. God bless and preserve Scotland. Yeah, my family left Scotland a long time ago. My allegiance is here with Canada. But as what is it, Spirit of the West sings in their song, there's none more Scot than the Scots abroad. I guess Scots in Scotland don't really care much about it, but Scots elsewhere, they're very Scottish. It is a thing, and you do notice it. Where does Clyde Do Something get all those memes from? Yeah, I actually get a lot from CB. I do. Thank you for them, CB. Oh, yum, yum, yum. It's my soda water, for those that are questioning. I always have soda water with limon. It is my favorite. But I wanted to say one more thing. Yesterday, I covered this story, and this is a story of a grandmother who was forced to flee Canada in order to get a life-saving transplant, an organ transplant. So she has a Give, Send, Go up. If you're not familiar with the story, I'm not going to cover it all right now. The video is on the channel page. Check it out. It's only three videos behind today, and I'm happy to say that, and I'm not taking credit for this, but just between my channel talking about this, many people I saw on Twitter talking about this, many people raising attention to this case. At the time that I recorded this, the Give, Send, Go was at $31,000, and now, and I'll hit refresh, it's just showing how awesome people are in the community. If you can't read that because it's too small, that's $55,582 so far raised for her. This is Sheila Annette Lewis, mother of 4 and grandmother. She has been denied because of not taking the COVID-19 vaccine. She's been denied the organ transplant that she was at the top of the list for. And yeah, this is a really good showing from the community. And of course, obviously encouraging more people to donate to this cause. But I just wanted to showcase that everybody is doing their part. It's amazing. It's really heartwarming to see that people are coming out in droves to help out good people and good people in need, good people indeed. That's the thing. I used to watch the guy practice over the armory across from the Tofat. That's back in the day. I'm wondering if I'm missing the reference there. Yeah, Clyde was not too keen on shorts, like too keen, like the number 2. Not too keen on shorts. No, I wasn't really keen on shorts at first, and I gave it a go for a bit, and they weren't good. But then I pulled on my my love for editing. Editing's a lot of work, by the way. If you're not a content creator, talk to a content creator. Most people hate editing. That's the thing they hate the most. But these shorts are fun because I can get to the end of it in a short time. I used to do edits that would take weeks sometimes to put together. So when this is fun. I can bust 1 or 2 of them off in an evening sometimes. It depends on how much time I have. Thanks, Clyde. Context matters. Yes, absolutely. Context always matters. Oh my God, they just won't stop. Nice to see a community helping her out. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm like I said, it's heartwarming, and these are the kind of stories that I like to share because, and okay, and I'm just gonna throw this out there because I've had a bunch of people tell me like, hey Clyde, you seem to be getting really negative these days, and I don't know if that's what I've been doing. I have actually actively been trying to keep things, there are lots of negative stories, and then I'll try to, spin things so that they're, well, I'm not like a spinster, but I'll try to look at the bright side and then also bring like heartwarming stories and lighthearted things to the channel. Unacceptable Fringe, Derek, thanks for the $6.99 super chat. That thumbnail though, the level of skills is unfathomable. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. But yeah, no, I definitely am trying to keep things lighthearted because yeah, I know people are getting bummed out if it's nothing but bad news all the time, and I want to make sure that it's not going to be always bad news. But check with the channel, because I think what's been happening is when I do like the lighthearted stories or positive spin kind of stories, like a story that has this positive spin to it, I noticed that YouTube might not be recommending it out to everybody. And that's one of those things where I actually ran an experiment. I did this on my Twitter feed. And let me just go to the Twitter feed real quick here and see if I can't point this out. But yeah, on the Twitter feed, I was really curious about this. So I posted one video this past week twice. And I did so with 2 different, yeah, here we go. So 2 different headers on it. I posted the same video. It's the exact same video. And I know that not everybody goes to your Twitter timeline. They'll just see whatever on their timeline. And I was curious. I was like, how is this one showing up for people depending on how I word things? I know Twitter, because they don't have captioning. They don't have closed captioning. This is why I do these by the way, because they don't have closed captioning. So there's an algorithm based on the words that you write in these descriptions here or in your post, and they actually score it. And I've been learning about how this is all done. There's a scoring system on how the words that you use, and depending on the words that you use, they give you a score, and that score will coincide with whether they want to recommend it on regular things or if they're going to recommend it to particular individuals. Cool graphics, Clyde. Thank you, James. I really appreciate it. I've been, yeah, working a ton on this stuff. And if you're talking about the thumbnail, that's just a joke, but it was fun to do anyway. Yeah, so this is what I put, the 2 different posts. On the first one, I wrote, Trudeau thought he could borrow money forever as if interest rates would never go up. What kind of economic hell has he bought us all into? And then on the second one, because that's a very negative sounding one, so I did another one with a more positive sounding thing, right? I mean, with the context, it's negative, but just for the verbiage, it was very positive sounding. Trudeau's best attempts at balancing the budget are working just as great as everyone thought. Right? So yeah, it's sarcastic, but it is a positive sounding thing. Now, I wanted to test this out because I wanted to say, hey, what are people getting recommendations for? And I wanted to see how how much engagement and how much viewership you're gonna get on any of these. So here's the tally right here. So only one comment on the positive one, 13 retweets, 20 likes, and 1,500 views on that video. And these were both published at the same time of day, by the way, at the same time. One successful, or one's right after the other one. How much did Meta crush C-18? We're gonna get to that a little later in the stream. So stick around, hang out. Make sure you hit that like button while you're hanging out in here, because I see that there's 454 people in this stream and 226 likes. I know you got it in ya. It's free and it helps out the channel. This is very important. One of those things that helps YouTube's recommendations work. If you like the video, it recommends it out to more people, not just in the community, but new people who probably haven't even seen these videos. So get that like action happening. But here's the more negative one. So one comment, 13 retweets, 20 likes, 1,500 views. What does the negative connotation one get? It got less views, mind you. Because it was negative sounding, it probably didn't get kicked out into the algorithm, right? But it got 66 likes, it got 34 retweets, and it got 11 comments. So what does that have to say for people? What does that have to say? It says that the negative sounding thing may not get as much push because the algorithm might be saying, nah, that's too negative sounding, I'm not putting it out there. But when it shows up in people's feeds, they are much more likely to like, retweet, or comment on it. So this is really interesting stuff. And as I keep moving through this space, I keep testing the waters, because I really want to get a good understanding of how these medias work. Because not only am I commenting on news in Canada, I'm commenting on society as a whole and all of the functions of society. And these social media companies are very much a big player in how all of our news and media consumption works, and what we're even seeing. So, or what we're even seeing and being shown. And this is where we're at, and I'm really proud of that little bit at the end there with Justin.
No. It's still a lot of money. No. How are you going to pay for that?
Just crushing the economy as he does. But yeah, that's the Al Gore rhythm. Yeah, because right, Al Gore, he invented the internet, right? Isn't that how the story goes, folks? That's where we are. Titanic sub distraction, a topic today. Only very briefly. I have one thing that I want to comment about it. Unfortunately, I don't have that much information on it. While everybody was doing that because it was trending and it was a big thing, I was focusing on the stories that I thought were relevant to, things that mattered to me, the channel, all that stuff. But there is one little thing, and we'll get to that. It's kind of in the queue at the moment. So why don't we get into some of these things, because we'll eventually get to that one. This is another good meme that I saw this just before going live here. This is from Marty up north. If you don't know who he is, go follow him on Twitter. He's on the channel quite frequently. You can go check out the conversations I have with him. But this is Trudeau's Canada in 2023. Study, get a job, and work hard, and we'll redistribute your money to someone who didn't. And that's really where we're at. That's really where we're at here with that one. Holy cow. Fun stuff. What else have we got here? This is Pierre Poilievre tweeting this out recently. Trudeau's circus with our tax dollars. Now, Blacklock's reporter is probably one of the best actual digging, like old school type reporter organizations in Canada, out of Ottawa. And yeah, they do really good work, but they were reporting on this. Canadian diplomats abroad have spent more than $139,000 on circus tickets, concerts, and galas. Newly released records show Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland in her 2023 budget proposed a 15% cut in unnecessary spending to show cabinet was fiscally responsible. Wow, just to show everybody that they're fiscally responsible, she looked at all of the unnecessary spending and said, you know what, we should cut about 15% of that. You know, about a Disney Plus subscription worth of unnecessary spending from our federal budget. And that's, yeah, that's where we're at. That is gross. Absolutely gross. But, you know, that's what happens when you hire a sellout reporter as a politician in the country. And I say sellout reporter because she actually wrote a book called Plutocrats, the uber rich, and how they're I can't remember that. I'm paraphrasing the subtitle, but how basically they're winning and everybody's losing. It's they're getting extra rich at everybody's expense. And then all of a sudden, suddenly she's been offered a seat at the table. Interesting, isn't that? Now here's another good one. This is a perfect example of what to do, and good friend of mine and the channel and the community here, Vesper D, has been sharing out content, and he tells people, steal my content and share it as your own. And this is a perfect example of that. And Canada, I don't know how you pronounce that, but great Twitter handle, by the way. Go give her a follow. Always putting out good stuff, but she took the video from Vesper and posted it as her own, right? Gave him credit in the thing, but this is how it's done. You don't have to give him credit, he even says. Just any of the content that he puts out there, take it, post it. Anyway, here's the video.
Another liberal was found to have broken ethics rules this past week.
And those people are putting us all at risk.
We invoked the act because it was the advice of nonpartisan professional law enforcement.
Did you ask the government or representatives for the invocation of the Emergencies Act?
No, there was never a question of requesting the Emergency Act.
So you never asked for it?
No, we actually reached out to various police agencies.
And those people are putting us all at risk.
Do we have any evidence, Minister, that the ArriveCan app is suppressing cross-border travel and tourism?
There is no evidence, Ms. Katrakis.
Officials that appeared as the uptake statistics that the government is seeing for the ArriveCan app, with the contact time that a border officer is spending with a traveler, certainly that has gone up quite substantially, and border infrastructure wasn't designed for those types of wait times.
Those people are putting us all at risk.
Another Liberal cabinet minister was called out today for breaking federal ethics rules by awarding 2 contracts to a friend she has known for nearly 20 years.
Let me be clear in saying once again that I made a mistake. My office contracted services from someone close to me, a friend, but because of our friendship, I should have recused myself from any and all dealings.
Yeah.
Those people are putting us all at risk.
Putting us all at risk.
Singh Grewal is accused of failing to report millions of dollars in personal loans, Bev, to the ethics commissioner. Also, the Mounties are saying he solicited loans for his own benefit by using his public office, and also say that he administered his constituency office budget for his own benefit.
Those people are putting us all at risk.
And a Liberal member of Parliament was caught without clothes during the virtual House of Commons today.
And those people are putting us all at risk.
Another Liberal, another apology.
I am very sorry.
The latest from Quebec MP Greg Fergus, found to have violated the Conflict of Interest Act.
And those people are putting us all at risk.
Trudeau's former finance minister, Bill Morneau, was found to have violated the Conflict of Interest law after Dion determined We Charity founders Craig and Mark Kielburger were legally friends of Morneau's, and Morneau's actions were judged to have advanced their interests.
And those people are putting us all at risk.
Wow.
Why do these ethical breaches keep happening? And
first of all,
and those people are putting us all at risk.
Oh, yes, they are putting us all at risk. Those liberals are putting us all at risk. There's so much corruption in this government. It's just insane. So, well, we're just going to keep on pressing. It's just amazing to me that anyone still votes liberal, but what? It happened. It happened in the recent by-elections. There was still a lot of people voting Liberal, but that's a thing. I'm seeing Lol Clyde in the chat. Lol Vesper D, he put this one together.
Another Liberal was found to have broken.
That's this one wasn't me, but I just want to showcase it because it is good work. So good job, Vesper, on this one. Now, a lot of people, there was the question about the Titanic thing. I'm not going to get into the ton of the details. Anyway, what happened in the Titanic situation? There was a sub that went down. There's a lot of questions around why the company let certain engineers go in recent times over other engineers and their hiring practices. I know Paul Joseph Watson was covering a bunch of the details regarding that. Lots of stuff is coming to light about possible corruption and skeeviness going on there. But at the end of the day, what happened was they went down way deeper than that thing ought to have gone down, and not for the first time. This apparently had gone down a bunch of times, and everybody's looking for ways to blame people for stuff. I'd say don't do something that something is not engineered for. The craft, they believe, ended up imploding. I don't know if they found the wreckage or they found bits of the wreckage, but they're not going to find any people. That's for sure. It's like 5,000 PSI I was reading down there. And if that suddenly were to crunch down on you, there's no getting away from that. That's not, nope, not happening. Now, Ian Miles Chong, which I normally, I don't mind his Twitter, and he reports on a lot of good stuff, but he put this one out there, this video of them closing up the front hatch on this sub. I guess people from outside have to close it up. You can't close it on yourself. But he says they used hand ratchets to tighten the bolts on the doomed Titanic submersible. And, well, take a closer look here. What kind of wrench is he using right there? And, of course, readers put context to it. Yeah. Okay, I'll just tell you, because I commented on this. And, oh, can I even find my comment? Oh, no, it's buried, I guess. Oh, boo. Yeah, I can't find my comment. I'll have to look on my Twitter. Unfortunately, because I did comment on this. But basically pointing out that, yeah, that's, dude, what are you talking about? I know you're looking for that quick tweet goodness or whatever it is. But, oh, am I even going to find this? I tweet too much. That's my problem, isn't it? I tweet too much. Yep, I'm not even going to find it. I think it's just, oh, I'm looking in the wrong place. It's in the replies. Oh, oof. Let's find it. Sorry, I should have had this prepared. I was supposed to have this prepared. I was looking for that. I thought I had it, and the tweet was right there, but it's not. And here we go. So the context here is, of course, I put in there, that's a torque wrench, dude. The tool that the guy's using in this, that's not a torque wrench there that he's using here to initially secure it, but to actually tighten it down, he was using a torque wrench. So this is not even an issue. Take it from a certified mechanic, myself, that's how you do the job. You don't just have some lackey with a rattle gun over tighten the bolts, causing them to fail. A lot of people got in there with some spurgy comments that I'm used to hearing on online forums and stuff like that. But yeah, so people questioning about, are they doing a proper pattern, the torque pattern? And it's like, well, you can't tell in the video. I don't know. Why are you speculating on that? So I replied to this feed saying, I'm guessing that the engineer that designed the unit put together a procedure for installing the sealed front piece. And the person in the video is following that. There's no reason to believe that he's doing it wrong. I don't have any reason to believe that he's doing anything wrong. Did I see that in the chat? Nurse Ratchet. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, no, I don't see them having done anything wrong. But something else that the engineer would have said is, don't go that deep. I mean, I don't mean to laugh at this, and there's some memes out there. Holy cow, there are some spicy memes even in the Discord that I am not sharing here. But yeah, they're there. Unacceptable Fringe with $6.99 super chat. Derek seems to be the only one super chatting tonight. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate it. This just speculation, but would have been more safe with a PS5 controller because that's what it looked like. A lot of people are saying. I am getting that. I am getting that. The window is only rated to 1,300 meters, but they went down like, I can't remember, 4,000 meters, something crazy. You just don't, like, you can't do that. It's dangerous. Yeah, that's the thing. It's dangerous. That's definitely a thing, but that's where we're at. And I'm gonna close all these windows so we can move on to the next stuff in the line, in the queue of stuff that I want to talk about tonight. But yeah, I'm not really jumping on that bandwagon. A lot of people have talked about it. There's a lot of good information out there. I know Decoy Voice did a video on it. It was a really good video talking about it. So go check out Decoy Voice. He's got an awesome channel. If you don't know who he is, here, let me just put him up on the page here. Decoy Voice. I was chatting with them. We were gonna do a video about the wildfires. I don't know if that's still gonna happen, but at some point I'll get together with Decoy Voice because I like him. I think he's got really good content. He puts a lot of good videos out, but go check it out because he did a great video about now the Titanic sub went woke with staffing, and just like Paul Joseph Watson was talking about, as well as I was alluding to earlier. So go check out Decoy Voice's channel. Make sure you leave a sub and stick around. He's growing fast. Holy cow, good on him. He does good work. But yeah, go check out that because a lot of people were asking. Some people were asking, but again, I have other stories that I want to cover, and that kind of was, one of the ones that was distracting people from a lot of the stuff that's happening here in Canada. And not just, and I don't just cover Canadian news, but I tend to go along a certain theme, and we'll see where that theme goes in the future. But because you have slow times with news, and I want to continue the schedule that I have, because being poignant and scheduled is always the way to do things. It imploded Sunday. I don't know if it was Sunday. I don't know when it imploded. I don't think anybody knows when it imploded, but it imploded nonetheless. That's the at least the theory on what went down with that. Let's talk about an interesting story about things imploding. Here's holy cow. Amazon, this is from the New York Post. Amazon shuts down customers' smart home devices after delivery driver's false racism claim. So this is why I don't appreciate absolutely the whole woke thing, but I think people need to stop going with, I guess I want to start calling it now woke conformity, because I want to take some of the words that the left uses, like conformity. I'm not going to be a conformist to your authority. Well, I'm not going to be a conformist to your wokeity. So the woke conformity will get you, locking people out of their places or their services. Now, this guy obviously bought all the products. He's probably thinking twice now about the line of products that he bought, because he bought into this Amazon ecosystem, I guess you would call it, the ecosystem of products. And I'll bring the chat in as I'm going over this. But Amazon shut off a man's home services for a week after the delivery driver falsely accused the customer of hurling a racial slur via a doorbell intercom. The tech giant confirmed Thursday. This is the story gets good, right? Okay, Brandon Jackson, who is black, By the way, this guy, oh, it's so rich. It's so rich the way this stuff has been going. Brandon Jackson, who is black, said he found himself digitally exiled from the company on May 25th. And this is less than 24 hours after Amazon delivery driver dropped off a package at his home and then reported him for being racist. Really? Are you kidding me? The homeowner who detailed the saga in a Medium post said he was informed that the unwarranted lockout after contacting Amazon when he realized he couldn't interact with his smart home devices. I was told that the driver who had delivered my package shortly received a racist remarks from my Ring doorbell, another Amazon product, Jackson says. Jackson, an engineer at Microsoft, was quick to point out flaws in the allegation, including that none of his family members were actually home when the package was dropped off. So what's the deal? So what's going on? He then reviewed the footage of various surveillance cameras set up outside his home and confirmed no such racial slur was uttered, ever. Instead, the Eufy doorbell had issued an automated response, "Excuse me, can I help you?" Jackson said. The driver, who was walking away and wearing headphones, must have interpreted the message nonetheless. By the following day, my Amazon account was blocked and my Eco devices were logged out. Womp womp. Now this is a really this one, and I'm trying to read the chat without laughing. You guys are funny, but he has a racist doorbell. Yeah, that's right. He's got a racist doorbell. He's one of those. He bought one of them Amazon racist doorbells. Unacceptable Fringe with another $6.99 super chat. Thank you, Derek. FYI, Home Depot sells non-woke doorbells for racists. I disavow on that statement. I'm not making that statement. I don't want to get sued by Home Depot for uttering such things. It's much more likely he found himself hacked than that story. There needs to be automated doorbells for political candidates. It's a doorbellian state. Oh my God, you guys are great. So woke broke equals liars, eh? Well, yeah, here's the thing. Ding dong, racist calling. So yeah, this is a story of wow, holy cow, and you can picture the Space Odyssey 2001 Hal saying, "I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave," as you're trying to get in your house. But yeah. Oh, this one cracked me up, made me laugh, because just what? Are you serious? And this is why you don't trust this tech, I guess. That's really what it comes down to. You can't trust this tech to control actual things that are important to you, because you could get locked out for political reasons. You buy the stuff and it doesn't guarantee that you're allowed to keep it or keep the services, apparently. And this is what's being proven here, that you could just be locked out of your services by an accusation alone. And it took him having to contact them to ask what went wrong. Why is this stuff not working? Had he not asked, they just would have indefinitely suspended his account. And I wonder how many other people this has happened to. This just happens to be the one that showed up in the news. So crazy pants, right? This is where we're at with this. But hey, some good news. Hilarious chat, absolutely. Tonight, it's great. So some good news from Canada. And we're gonna get into some of the woke stuff now. This is where this is the territory we're going. So if this is something you're a little squeamish about, maybe now's not the time to be tuning in, but we're gonna get into some of this stuff. So this is from the Post Millennial. Pull the chat out of here real quick. Based. This is like starts with based. Canadian province of Saskatchewan bans Planned Parenthood from public schools. Now, this is in the wake of a story that came last week. If you remember last week's live stream, if you were tuning into this, and I know a lot of people are tuning into this live stream because we got 571 people in the chat right now, but we've still only got 432 likes. Come on, guys, let's get those like numbers up, and then this will help the stream so much more, and I would really appreciate it, and thank you all so very much for that. But hey, based Canadian province of Saskatchewan, this is in the wake of New Brunswick. New Brunswick from last week, as you heard, they passed a new law saying that school teachers, if a child decides that they want to identify as something other than their obvious gender, and I really still don't like using the word gender. People have sexes, they don't have genders. You have a sex. Even IDs and stuff, they used to say sex on them. But anyway, that I'm kind of getting away from the point here. So in New Brunswick, they passed a law saying that if kids under the age of 16 in schools begin to identify themselves as something other than what they're obvious, this has to be reported to the parents. And wow, did people freak out about this. Now, children under the age of 16, they aren't allowed to decide what they have for dinner, let alone what gender they want to be. So yeah, of course, parental consent is necessary, and they should be notified. The parents should definitely be notified in this stuff, because in my opinion, my humble opinion, kids did not care about any of this stuff until teachers brought this into the schools. This isn't some other thing. This is completely out of bounds for the appropriate conversations in public schools, in schools in general, or with children in any circumstance, to be discussing this stuff with them. Anyway, this on the wake of that story, we have this new one. Based Canadian province of Saskatchewan bans Planned Parenthood from public schools. Now, Planned Parenthood, if you don't know, it sounds very innocuous. That you'd be planning your parenthood, that people would go there for fertility testing. People would go there to try to maybe is it in vitro, in utero? No, in vitro, I think. Insemination. Maybe they go there for making sure that all their vitamins and everything are right. See doctors when they're trying to get pregnant. No, nobody ever goes to those clinics for any of those things. It is a abortion service. That is all that this service does. It's all they're known for. That's all that you'll ever see coming out of this organization. So, and there are clinics here in Canada that do all of those things, including the abortions, but they do all of those things. So let's not confuse those with Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is an organization that is specifically focused on that one procedure that people who don't want to be parents end up doing. So a very, very strange name for that organization. So this is where use friendly, fun terms, because it'll get people off your trail, kind of stuff. Planned Parenthood has been blocked from presenting in Saskatchewan schools after ABC sex cards were made available to students in grade 9 at Lumsden High School. Saskatchewan Minister of Education Dustin Duncan said a review would be done of school materials and of the process of informing parents of what their children are learning in the classroom, according to the Regina Leader Post. So that's great news that, anything that the kids are learning, they're going to tell the parents about. And I think that should just be normal. Why is this not just a normal thing that happens in education at all? In regards to the material in question, which Planned Parenthood Regina Executive Director Julian Wortherspoon called a tongue-in-cheek sexual alphabet from a third party, Duncan said, I believe as Minister of Education, frankly, as a parent, it is completely inappropriate to be in a classroom. After reading some of the cards, captions, Duncan said, I don't feel appropriate, frankly, saying that, but I think it gives you a sense of that if I feel uncomfortable saying that to the media, and likely someone that won't be broadcasted because of its nature of it, then I think it's pretty much certain for me it is an indication that probably doesn't need to be in the classroom. So this is some of the material is just, you know, absurd stuff. And here's another win. Here's another win, and we can take this, take the note on this one, that things are moving in the right direction. Now we have another win, I guess. NHL announces it's banning Pride jerseys. So they were, you know, scolding players before for not wearing them. Now they're banning them. now they're banning them. This is the thing. And you know, a lot of corporations, they just don't get it. Like these organizations, they just don't get it. People are tired of it. They're done with it. They don't want any more of this woke stuff in their lives, in just the stuff that they do. I mean, I'm not a big hockey fan, but I don't really see a lot of hockey fans being like, yeah, this needs to be a part of my hockey experience. Like, it has nothing to do with it. And this isn't to say that people who are gay can't enjoy hockey. It's just, hockey's not about gay. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not about that. It's not, they're two mutually exclusive things that people of that community can enjoy or participate in and not have to do anything from that other. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't need to be there. Something that doesn't need to be there just doesn't need to be there. The National Hockey League announced that it will ban pride jerseys and other special cause-based uniforms from its rinks. Finally! And I'm glad that they specified the other special cause-based uniforms, because this is the thing. People are just done with it. I don't care if you like this. I don't care if you want to save all the cats. You know, it doesn't need to be on the jerseys of people in New Jersey. I don't know. You don't need to have this. It's really, it's obnoxious at this point. It's gone so far that it's actually at the point where it's obnoxious. People are sick of it. They're so done with it. Chris B, words of wisdom. Where's Chris B? I want to see this. Why can't you go back to where your sexual preference are none of my business? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where we need to get back to. Because, and here's the thing, I don't want anyone to ever misconstrue my position on this stuff. I am not anti-gay. I'm very, you know, whatever, live your life, be gay. That's cool. If that's where you are in life, good on you. Enjoy it. I'm glad you're out and about and having your life and enjoying it, just like everybody else should be able to go off and enjoy their lives in the way that they see fit and are comfortable with. If you're trans, I'm not anti-trans. Go for it. If you're a drag queen and you want to do drag queen stuff, go for it. Go do that. Stay the heck away from kids with that stuff. It's not kid friendly. It's not kid friendly. You're not gonna, no. End of story. That stuff is not kid friendly. It's sexual in nature. It's at its core, it has sexual derivatives of it, and that needs to be away from kids. But the main thing that needs to be understood here is that people in this community, maybe there are some outliers and people who are against that stuff. I'm not against gay. I'm not against trans, and I'm not against drag queens or any of these things that people want to do. I'm totally fine with people doing things that are consensual with each other, that make no difference to me or my life or the things in my life. Just don't try to introduce it to my kids, because then we'll have an issue. We're going to have an issue at that point. And I think that kids in general should not be subjected to this stuff, but especially my kids. If you're trying to tell my kids that this is stuff that's appropriate for them, and you're trying to go around me to try to show this to my children, we got a problem. We got a problem. And that's where I really stand on this. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate where I stand on the whole going to drag shows or whatever and protesting. Don't do it. I mean, that's you're going to do what you want to do, and that's your life and what you want to do. If you find that there's an event happening in your town and you want to make a stand against that happening in your town, I've suggested to people, if that's your prerogative, don't go to the event and cause a ruckus and a confrontation. It's just what the media wants. It's what they'd be happy to report on and make everybody look like a bunch of fools. Go to the police station and file a report. Go with a group of people and say, we want you all to, there's this thing happening. Here's what's going on. Take care of it. And if you don't, I'm going to file a report saying that you didn't take care of a crime in progress, and leave it up to the authorities. Don't take matters into your own hands. You're not going to really change anything. All you're going to do is create a big fight. And I just I don't condone that. But that's me. That's my tactics. That's where I stand. Everybody's going to do what they're going to do, and they're free to do that. In my opinion, the government may think differently, but everybody's free to make their own decisions in life, and that's where they go with that. But I do definitely want to make sure that people understand this, that don't misunderstand my position. And I know a lot of people on the left, I'm not like right wing by any stretch of the imagination. I'm very neutral on a lot of things, but this is the habit. All the wokies want to paint you as you're anti this and say, well, no, I'm not anti those things. I'm not anti those things at all, actually. In fact, in the past, I've actually been pretty pro people having the ability to live their lives peacefully and not be harassed because of the way that they who they love and all these other things. I'm totally cool with that thing. I'm not cool with it being around children and the anti-science aspect of it. That's true. And I'd like to point out a book as well that I'm reading right now. And this one is called The End of Gender. I need to start like a book club or something where we could talk about books and stuff and get a lot of people reading them. But this one is by Dr. Deborah So. She's a sexologist, and she's actually traditionally kind of on the left. She was a big gay supporter, the gay activism movement. She was big on, it's all written in the book here. And she was also very supportive of transgender community, like the whole LGBT, big supporter of all of that stuff. But she's also a sexologist. And when studying all of the stuff, especially about gender and trans, realized that all of this is nonsense, absolutely nonsense, what's coming out these days. And so she wrote this book after being outed for, being a woke nonconformist, which is what I like to start using. When I'm finished this book, I'm actually going to call Deborah So. She's from Canada, by the way. So support a fellow Canadian author. I'm going to try to reach out to her, maybe have her come onto the podcast here, because I would love to, because I saw her on Joe Rogan, and she has a lot of really good stuff to say. Again, read her book. It's fantastic. I'm about halfway through it or more. I would like to, because this is something that she hasn't talked about in some of the other podcasts that I've listened to her talking about, and I would like for her to explain to a lot of people that there's a big difference between transgender, like people who are transgender, people who are drag queens, because a lot of this is getting conflated. And it's all getting lumped in as one thing, and it's not one thing. It is absolutely not one thing. These are very different ways and walks of life that don't actually, the only thing that they kind of coincide with is like a lot of the drag queens are gay men, but transgender is something else. And it's, I would love to have her come on and explain a lot of this to the audience as well, and get a lot of the facts straight, and maybe even some of my facts I'd like to have straightened around, because maybe I have things misunderstood. Because I'm an outside observer, and that's where I'm at, and a lot of us largely are, and that's the way it works when you've got your own life to live, and you're not involved in other communities and stuff. But when we get these clashes in society, I think it's very it's incumbent upon us to understand what's actually happening in the situation, rather than going on with the hyperbole. And you have to understand that there's going to be hyperbole not just on their side, but also on your own side, to where you can spot it, and how you can look at the whole situation in a lucid, sober manner. And I think that's a good way for us to move forward in that one. It's statistically impossible for the trans to increase by 4,000%, and that's where the whole transgender thing is talked about, and in this book, and she addresses that in this book, and that's why it's called The End of Gender. And it's there's something I'd actually even like to discuss with her about the term gender and its usage in society. Olia with a $13.99 super chat. Hi, Clyde. Happy Friday. Great book. And I know you, Olia, are fighting this very, very thing, because for those in the channel don't know Olia, she hangs out in the Discord as well, but very, very, supportive of the original LGBT movement. And this is just actually for real rights, not these positive rights of insisting that you get special privileges, but just rights in general. For people that had a hard time historically, not so much anymore, and that's kind of where we're at. And of course, as always, join us in the Discord after if you have more to add to this. We can have this conversation and go further with it. But yes, I keep going on these tangents, but some of you guys might love it and some of you guys might hate it, but I just do it. It's a great way to get this stuff off my chest and be able to express these concepts and these ideas with a larger community of people, and show that there's not animosity and hate in this at all. This is not what this is about, and that's what's being portrayed, and this was being shown in media, and because it gets clicks, just like I was saying earlier about the 2 posts that I put out. And if you weren't in here during that talk, I was talking about 2 posts that I put out earlier, the same very video on Twitter, one with a very positive spin sounding comment and one with a very negative spin sounding comment. The negative spin sounding comment actually did worse in the algorithm to get pushed out, but it did better for engagement. And this is how we're hardwired. We're what's the term for it? It's neurotic. We have a propensity towards focusing on the negative. That's neuroticism, and it's only in our nature to do that. It's why a lot of content creators will focus on all the mean comments. You'll have hundreds of great comments, but then you'll have one mean comment. And I've even been guilty of it, where I focus on, why did that guy say that about me? And it's hard not to, right? Because it's just in our nature to do that. So of course, this is the reason why news and media uses negative stuff, because they know that you'll react to it, and by reaction, they want you to click on things. And we're going to get into how that's not going to be happening much more for the Canadian broadcast media, but that's when we get into talking about Bill C-18. Right now, we're still talking about this. But yeah, the National Hockey League announced that it will be banning jerseys of other special cause-based uniforms from its rinks. This comes after several players refused to wear the rainbow jerseys during warm-ups, and amid greater social pushback against their gender ideology. And this is people not being woke conformists. As I said earlier, everybody start using this term. I'm not a woke conformist. And not just I'm anti-woke. Don't be anti-anything. Just don't be a woke conformist. I'm not going to conform to the woke authority that's telling me I have to conform to its thing, right? Because the whole woke thing is supposed to be predicated on the idea that we're all special individual snowflakes. That's why they hated the term snowflakes, by the way, and you can get in trouble for calling them snowflakes, because they all want to be something individual and new. And well, it turns out, well, they're all just wearing the same uniform. It's actually a funny story, because speaking of uniforms and all of this stuff, I was a punk rocker way back in the day when I was a teenager and all this stuff. And I did it. I had the spikes, and at a point I had a big mohawk, and I was really into punk rock, and I thought it was awesome. It was the bee's knees and all yada yada, right? Okay, so some people are gonna make fun of me, whatever. Get it over with. Let's put it in the chat and make fun of me. But I was really into punk rock, and I had this, like, from an early age, a young age, I had a problem with authority, and I had just, like, I hated being told what to do, yada yada. I'm sure you get where I'm going with this, because it's led into my adult life as well. I hate being told what to do. Back in the day when Clyde had hair, right, Clyde? Yeah, right. Exactly. So, but that's the thing. So at the time, I was really wrapped up in this whole punk rock thing, and I would read a lot of books about anarchy and all that stuff. And, you know, as a dumb teenager, and I was, like, trying to find myself and figure out what's going on. I'm old, so I'm old, so gonna go to bed. But Clyde, I trust you. Thanks, Loretta Jones. I really appreciate that. But Mohawk Clyde memes must be constructed now. Yeah, so I was involved in the punk scene, and I remember I remember reading a lot of books about, you know, anarchy and all this other stuff, and political ideologies and all of this stuff. Anarchy is for the gays. So, well, actually, so I've come back from that, right? So that was me in my teenage years, you know, young, naive, and all that stuff. And as I was reading the literature, and I was realizing that, you know, anarchy just leads to power vacuums, that leads to bad people coming in and taking that power and then quickly flipping it on its head and going way away from not having rulers to having very real rulers that are very, very much interfering in your everyday life, to understanding that, you know, it pushed me off in it, and I ended up reading, you know, like John Locke and Thomas Paine, and a lot of really good writings from that era, the era of, you know, the founding of the United States and the French scholastics, and going back to that time, the time of the Enlightenment, all of this. Anyway, what I ended up tuning into was the whole idea of minarchism, like having this necessary evil of a state, thus its main purpose to preserve individual liberty, which is anarchy, which is the absence of rules over top of you or whatever. But you still need to have that necessary evil. But the problem with that necessary evil is people are corruptible, and they will always try to grow the power of that thing, the state, and that's where we're at. You've gotten about 4,000% better since then, Clyde. Okay, sure. Anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting that as I was going in that direction through the literature, there was so many people in the punk rock scene that were going left. They were going full authoritarian. People who were saying that they don't want rulers, then they're saying, no, but I want someone like Mao to be my ruler. Like, what the heck are you talking about? Trish Brew with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. New name, Clyde Punk something, lol. Yeah, okay. That's the thing. Anyway, so the moral of the story here is I was sitting in a cafe one day in Toronto, downtown on around Queen and Bathurst. There was this really cool cafe that I used to go and read books, because they had sofas and stuff, and I'd go there in my dirty punk rock looking clothing and stuff, and I'd sit down and I'd read, and I'd eat, you know what I would always eat? Raspberry jam on a bagel. It was just so good. It was to die for. And now I'm just in love with raspberry jam, and it's so good. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would go and I would, on my free time, I would go read books and be a punk rocker. Anyway, one day, a guy comes in and he sits down at this common area because there's sofas, right? And he sits down and he's like, hey, so you're a punk rocker, hey? Like, yeah. He's like, oh, what do you stand for? And I told him my whole spiel about being a nonconformist and all of these things that I was thinking in my teenage brain that had hardly developed yet, but was full with all of these grandiose ideas. And he listened to me. He listened to me say all these things, and it was really nice that this guy sat and he listened to me as I was talking. You know how good that feels when you're in a position where nobody, you feel like nobody cares about what's going on, and somebody just sits and listens to you rant. Heck, there's 512 of you in here doing that right now. But anyway, so I did this, and I was talking to this guy, and I told him my whole thing about not wanting to be a conformist and all of these things, and he says, "Oh, right, that's great. So you don't want to be a conformist?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "You're a punk rock, right? A punk rocker, right?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You know how I can tell?" I said, "How?" And he said, "'Cause you're wearing the uniform." And I'm like, wow. All right. You got me. You absolutely got me. And yeah, it was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call. And it made so much sense. It was just that light bulb went off. And I went, holy cow. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm putting on this show, and I'm putting this outward appearance for everybody. And I wasn't being original. I wasn't being anything new. I was being a punk rocker. I was absolutely just gobsmacked at that moment, and it made so much sense. And I'll never forget that. Right? I'll never forget that. So that's the moral of the story, is that, yeah, you could just be put in your place in this case. But where I was I found out that all the things that I was trying to be, and be original and be something new and all that, and it turns out I was just putting on another uniform. So what did I do? I went back to wearing work clothes, workwear, and just buzzed my head, buzzed the mohawk off, see you later, and continued to read, and continued to embrace new concepts and let people talk. That was the other thing that I pulled away from that, is to let people say their piece and listen to everything that they have to say. So yeah, it gave me a whole new outlook on life. And this was many, many, many moons ago, right? So I've gone so far from that day, but it's interesting to watch all these people. They just want to be heard. They just want to be acknowledged for something, but they don't realize that they're just putting on a uniform. And even in this time, I mean, I was lucky because all I did was put glue in my hair. and wear stupid clothing, right? But these days, they're cutting off their body parts, and they're taking drugs that are going to change their body chemistry forever. You're not going to get it back. You're not going to get it back. It's not coming back, and you can't just count this as a phase. I mean, the generation just before was doing those stupid big hoop earrings that will require your surgery to fix. Sorry to anybody in the chat that has them. But when the day you figure out that you don't want that anymore, it's a body modification that you're not going to get back. And yeah, it gets worse. It gets worse. And I'm not going to show you some of the photographs of the surgeries. Not even botched surgeries, like what it looks like when they did it right. Some of these surgeries, it's really, really horrific what people are doing for the sake of being different, standing out. Something that You know, give it time and you probably snap out of it. And if you don't snap out of it, and if it is your way of life, and you're an adult and you haven't been conned into this as a kid, and this is what it is that you want to do in your life, and that's the decision you discussed with a therapist who has your actual interest in mind, then I you know, I'd have to support people in that endeavor. You know, that's the way they want to live their life. That's good. That's fine. What have you? Joe Lyman giving me the Steve Martin nonconformist oath in Discord P. Okay, I'll put that one up. It's good. That's the nonconformist oath. I love that one. Hold on. But yeah, I was on a sentimental thing, Joe. I was really on that. I really do think that. I like this look on you, Clyde. It suits you. Okay, fair enough. I was a kid. Come on, give me a kid. Give me a break. What were you doing, Phoebe? Is it Phoebe? Phoebe Long? What were you wearing when you were 17 years old? You tell me. And tell me you're not embarrassed about it. No, Steve Martin, the nonconformist oath. Let's have a look at this, because this is a classic. This is great.
Good. Now let's repeat the nonconformist oath. I promise to be different.
I promise to be different.
I promise to be unique.
I promise to be unique.
I promise not to repeat things other people say.
Nonconformist oath. I love it. Steve Martin, awesome comedian. Always. So where were we? I was still on this one, and we were not very far into this story, and we gotta keep moving, because I keep going on these tangents, and I end up talking about one thing in particular for far too long, and I don't move on with the story. I'm probably the oldest one here. I was a hippie, so yeah, you did wear some funny stuff. Whoa, definitely. I know that. I know that's got to be true. Those bell-bottom jeans and the funny frills that everybody liked to wear. And flower power. What was that about? Okay. Not my generation, so I don't get it. Anyway, NHL, done with it. They're totally cool to be done with it. Where were we here? Oh yeah, this was another article from True North. Moving in the same. This is targeting your kids. The secret trans agenda exposed in Canada. The Canadian Pediatric Society's new position statement on gender-affirming care for children is the kind of thing that needs to be seen to be believed. And again, gender-affirming care is covered in this book, and I recommend reading The End of Gender by Deborah So. Get in the book club with me and start reading these books, because they're really good. Gender-affirming care being the care that you just affirm. You affirm to the patient what they feel, and if you don't do that, that is you're breaking a law now in parts of Canada, maybe all of Canada. I'm not sure. Pediatric Society's new position statement on gender-affirming care for children is the kind of thing that needs to be seen to be believed. Among the absurd recommendations and positions, the paper advocates the prescription of hormone-blocking drugs like leuprolide acetate to adolescent boys and girls. This is the same drug that is given to repeat violent sex offenders to chemically castrate them. Once that is prescribed, the paper then moves on to advocating the use of hormone replacement drugs. Now, these hormone blockers, they're told that they're just a pause button. They're just going to totally just pause everything, and then that it's not going to affect anything later. You just stop taking them, and then you go through your normal puberty as if nothing ever happened. Jelly Duck with the membership. Thank you so much in the chat there. Jelly Duck, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Staying a member for how long? 13 months now. Wow. Has it been that long? That's crazy. So these drugs are not just a pause button. There's a bunch of bone density stuff that occurs during puberty that if you get put on these puberty blockers, you're not gonna catch up on this stuff, and it's not gonna happen ever for you if this were to be the case, and you were put on these things. And again, these are things that these children, when they grow up and if they regret this, it was your choice. You were supposed to stop them from doing this. If you're an ancient, if you're old, I'm ancient. I grew up when women still dressed like Jackie Kennedy, and the makeup rage was white eyeshadow, square-tipped fingernails. Oh wow. Okay, I'm not that old. I'll be 41 soon. Oh goodness. I am getting old. I'm getting old. It's happening. It's happening to me. It happens to all of us at some point or another. That's one thing you'll never escape is age. You can run all you want. You'll never escape it. My recommendation is just to embrace it. Let it happen. Trish Prue saying, Margaret Kim, we must be the oldest ones here. Well, I'm glad to have audiences of all ages. I really am. I absolutely am appreciative of it. But anyway, so this is the way things are going. The truth is, the three-headed monster of the government, medicine, and education have been working together to create a barrier between parents and their children to such a degree that parents have next to no recourse in their child if their child believes that they were born in the wrong body. And how would they get these thoughts? Guess. We can thank both liberals and conservatives for that. Tune into the latest pod. Yeah, so this is a thing for checking out Harris's Ratioed is his segment on True North. So go check that out. This is, again, just an advertisement for that. Where was I? Where were we going with this? I thought I had an article. There it goes. Fort Nelson School. G-Meister with the membership for 12 months, a whole year, my man. Honk, honk. Hit the damn like button. And hope the Uber Eats isn't 10 minutes late. Oh, wow. Yes. Well, thank you so much. I'll have to get some wobbly pops on you this time. Thank you so much. You don't have to wait long. Here you go, says Andy Lee on Twitter. And this is Fort Nelson School apologizes for sexual materials given to students. Card deck of provocative sexual slang was given by a public health nurse to students at Fort Nelson Secondary School. So this is kids under the age of 18, I think ranging from anywhere from 12 to 13 to 18 in school. And these are some of the terms used in this. I'm not reading these out loud. You can read them on the screen. And if you don't know what they mean, you can look them up. I don't want that on my Google search history. That is not happening for sure. No thanks. That's where we're at. Oh, with this story. But again, the good news is people are coming together. People are coming together. This is actually bringing people together for the children. In this case, these are two men. This is a Muslim man and a Christian man coming together to show solidarity for the children and parental rights. Parental rights to say, nope, don't want to teach our kids this stuff. They're too young to know about this stuff. They'll learn about it, and they'll learn about it in the home, and they'll learn about it when they're good and ready to learn about it. And this shouldn't be up to the government to have a say in it. And that's that. I don't know where this is taking place. I don't know. But this is a bit from Rebel News. Whoops. Now, before I go too long on this one, I got this story here from getwokeup.com exposing the pride madness. It's usually exposing the woke madness. This is a fun website. Go check it out. How to identify as a they, them. A guide to spotting them and they, there in their... I have a hard time saying this stuff. A guide to spotting them in they, their natural habitat. I just have a hard time with these so bad. Okay, so the 72 gender crowd is always demanding to be seen, but for normal people, it can be difficult to identify the sheep of this confused flock. That's why, as a public service, Get Woke Up has conferred with our resident staff wokester to separate the what from the she shaft, to educate our readers on how to identify a they them. And here are some of the they thems right here. I'm seeing the chat. The chat just exploding with emojis. Oof. So the facts that don't care about their 72 feelings. Now this is one of those ones. Here, I'll get to the chat here. Uncle Cairo, hello from Costa Rica. Love your videos. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. But this is the one fad I'll just never get, is the bangs that are like right at the top, right at the hairline bangs. I just don't get it. It doesn't look like you're representing the LGBTQ. It looks like you're representing something else. Maybe your homies with extra chromies. I don't know what's going on there. You basically start with the base level of self-loathing in the formation of they-thems, of all they-thems, explains Get Woke Up wokespert Lisa Donnelly. Usually it's gangly white girls or plus-size minority type cut and paste woke gender confusion operation from their base, because all they do is copy each other so they can be original. And this kind of gets to the whole point that I was getting at earlier with the old punk rocker story. Yeah, there's 72 feelings. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's the whole idea of being original by putting on another uniform. This is really what it is. And I'll leave you guys to read this article because it's really good. Go check out getwokeup.com. It's hilarious. But yeah, the clothing makes the they them. You know, they have particular clothing that they wear. Tagged, you're in it. Yeah, I got some of that stuff. He, him posters. And then habitat for the humanity. I care about nature. Yeah, okay. Good on you. Again with the bangs, the ultra short bangs. It just don't get it. But I don't even know where to go with that anymore. It's just it pushes the boundaries too far for me into a thing that just, I want to say, you know, let them be kids and do their thing. And if that's what they're doing, then let them do their thing. But when it's tearing apart society at the seams and they're targeting children, yeah, again, that's where I stand on that. And I hate reiterating myself and stating the same point over and over again, but that's really where I stand on that one. Clyde, do something. There is nothing natural about those bangs. No, there's nothing natural about that. But hey, that's where I'm going to end that story. But definitely, again, recommending this book if you want to be part of the Clyde Do Something book club. Maybe I should get that going, by the way. I could put these on recommendations, or have something somewhere, maybe. Or even just Amazon links to things. I'll get maybe because I think I'm gonna be putting together a store coming up soon. Obviously I can't sell these books, but I could definitely link through the store to an Amazon link or something like that to drop ship them, or just have them have that forwarded along for getting together and discussing some of these books. Maybe I should even do book reviews. Why not? I could put videos like that together. Tell me in the chat and in the comments if that's something you would actually be interested in, is to get my opinions on particular books as I go through them and talk about them. because that could be a thing to put forward on the channel, because again, I do like going through some of this stuff. I got such a big book list right now, list of things to read through. Again, I'm reading The End of Gender. I just picked up Lindsay Shepard's book, Diversity and Exclusion. Lindsay Shepard, of course, she was booted from, I don't know if she was booted completely, but she was kicked out of her class, expelled from her class for having the audacity to use Jordan Peterson as a reference from the University of Toronto, I believe it was. I also got this fantastic book as well that's on my list of things to read. Hold the Line, My Story from the Heart of the Freedom Convoy by Tamara Leach. I always pronounce that wrong. Sorry, Tamara. Of which she was recently on the Jordan Peterson podcast. And that podcast has also been released on Twitter. I thought I had that here. Yeah. Check that out. If because Jordan Peterson's been having trouble with YouTube, believe it or not. And I'm not telling people to go to other platforms to view stuff, but this is also available in its entirety. If you look, the whole 1 hour and 48.5 minutes interview with Tamara Leach is on Twitter, so you can go check that out in its entirety there and enjoy that for yourself. And I've got a little company in the room here. Daniel, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, little man? Daniel wants to join the stream and say hi to everybody. You gonna wave? You gonna wave? Say hi. Wave. Okay. And off you go, okay? Get back in the house. No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. Okay, I'm gonna grab him and and send him out. This is the routine here. Let's go. Let's go, little guy. Yeah. Let's go. Okay. Off you go, little man. Oh, okay. All kinds of things can happen during these live streams, right? So it goes. So off he goes to go back in to the house and do kid stuff. Kawaii. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to close this and get on to the next story. So this is the main story from the title in the that I might have clickbaited you into. Sorry if that was the case. But yeah, getting into this, Pierre Poilievre putting this out already. And this was after, actually, I put this video this morning talking about this. Pierre Poilievre jumping in there. There you have it, step by step. The Trudeau government is deliberately getting in the way of what people can see and share online. And here's Meta making an update on June 22nd, 2023. Today, we're confirming that news availability will be ended on Facebook and Instagram for all users in Canada prior to the Online News Act, Bill C-18, taking effect. And this is where we're going with this. I bet you had great bangs back in the day, Clyde. Yeah, I bet I did. But here we go. We're getting into this story. Now, you can go on your news aggregate websites. This one is ground.news to search up these different feeds and see who's reporting on this and what they're reporting on it. Now, I pulled this one up. So this is the actual House of Commons Parliament of Canada website, where they're showing that the bill has received royal assent. It's passed. It went through the House of Commons, and then it was rammed through the Senate. And here we are now. We've got Bill C-18. It is now law in Canada. True North reporting on this. Facebook, Instagram, to block news for Canadians in response to Liberal Bill C-18. Now, this bill has got so much in it, and of course, it's just like Bill C-11. It's its stated goal is not going to be what actually happens with it. But now here we are, where news media is no longer going to be allowed to get linked to, and it's just so obvious why. I don't understand how the government that writes this stuff do not see the way people's behavior will change based on the things that they write into law. Meta has announced it will be begin blocking news links on Facebook and Instagram for Canadian users in response to the passage of the Liberal government's online bill C-18. Online news bill. Today, we are confirming that news availability will be ended on Facebook and Instagram for all users in Canada prior to the Online News Act, Bill C-18, taking into effect, wrote the company in a statement on Thursday. We have repeatedly shared that in order to comply with Bill C-18 passed today in Parliament, content from news outlets, including news publishers and broadcasters, will no longer be available for people accessing our platforms in Canada. Facebook has already limited the reach of some Canadian news sites, including small local and Quebec-based outlets. The bill was passed after the Liberals moved to cut off debate on Bill C-18, which critics blast for giving the government too much control over what news Canadians see online. This is just ridiculous. Smith for Prime Minister. Well, we have Smith. Smith is in Alberta as the premier. I think Pierre would have a problem with Smith running against him, but that's a thing. That's a thing. Of course, Canadians can use VPNs and bypass all of this, right? And this is the route that it may go. And much like China, people can't see certain websites in China because of the Great Firewall, and people tend to use VPNs in China. And well, what did they do in China? They made VPNs illegal. These are the kinds of steps that you see from authoritarian dictatorships, not Westminster democracies, right? This is unbelievable. As University of Ottawa, Canada research chair on the internet and e-commerce law, Michael Geist, wrote earlier this week, the Liberal government cut off debate from the opposition to push through the bill. In fact, despite plans for an evening debate on the bill last night, the government interrupted MP Martin Shampoo, is that his name, Shampoo, in mid speech, cut the debate short and gave notice that it plans to limit debate altogether this week, said Geist. The irony that the government is cutting off debate on a bill that claims is essential to holding it to account should not be lost on anyone. And it is just unreal what they thought was going to happen versus what the behavior of the industry actually was. Now, this is an article from just about a month ago. Yeah, published in May 29th. And this is the minister reviewing CBC's mandate to making it less reliant on advertisement. Now, this is Minister Pablo Rodriguez. He was the heritage minister in a government that says that we don't have a heritage and we're the first post-national state. But whatever, they hired this guy to take care of he's the propaganda, the minister of propaganda, maybe, I guess you could call that. But anyway, in this article, he's talking about the CBC and how they're going to get away from being so reliant on advertisement. And it's funny because the CBC is only 30% reliant on advertisement. And of course, the government advertises a lot with CBC. Isn't that funny? So 70% of their budget comes directly from the government, as was noted in the little spat with Elon Musk on Twitter, as he made them 70% government funded with their label, and then down to 69, just as a nice round number. But how much of the ad revenue that comes in is actually the government ads that they run on CBC Radio Canada? But despite this, Paul Rodriguez had some ideas of his own, and this is really funny because this is something that he said here in arguing of why we should get away from advertisement revenue, because we should bolster the revenue that they get from the taxpayers directly. And here's another source of revenue that's going to be coming in real soon, he says. Rodriguez said the CBC would financially benefit from the passage of the Online News Act, also known as C-18. The bill would require tech giants to pay Canadian media companies for linking to or otherwise repurposing their content online. The Parliamentary Budget Officer released a report last year that shows that news businesses are expected to receive over $300 million annually from the digital platforms when the online news bill becomes law. Translation: they were counting their chickens before they even laid eggs. Not before they hatched, before the eggs were even laid. They're counting chickens, and it's ridiculous because this is how dumb bureaucrats are. And I can't illustrate how dumb bureaucracy is any better than this particular example. And the reason why they're so dumb in this example is because they're proposing that the social media companies are just gonna hand them $300 million, as if telling them that they have to pay this because of this is just not going to change their behavior. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to think that they're just like, oh, okay, I got to pay for this now. I guess here's my wallet book. How much do I owe you? No, that's not how it works. If you were getting something for free forever, and then all of a sudden they come and they tell you, oh, you know that thing that's free? Yeah, you're going to have to start paying for that. What do you think people will do immediately? They'll stop using it, or at least really reduce using it. Well, that's it. Well, that's it. When it comes to links on social media, and really what this is a lot of people on Meta that will share CBC links. And if the CBC link shows up on the website, they want to go against Section 230 protections, right? Because, and I know the DMCA is American law, but Canadian law, legal system honors these laws, right? So they're going against the idea of Section 230 immunity of the platforms being platforms and not publishers, and they're holding the platforms responsible for the users putting links on the website. This is just retarded. Can't say that word. This is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at with this. So they've already counted their money. And how would they get this? How would they get this? Stuff's falling all over the place. How would they get this number? So who's this? The Parliamentary Budget Officer was doing a really good job in his report last year that did what? Scanned Facebook on Canadian users and just saw how many people put links. How many people posted links? That's probably where he got that information. I don't see how else he got that data. That's it. That's it. How many people posted links to news articles? And what they want to do is say that the social media company has to pay the company. Now, first off, this is backwards. This is completely backwards. Why do news media sites go to social media in the first place? Do they go to social media because they're like, oh golly, I need to make money off of this social media site. If I post my links, they'll give me... No, that's not how it works. They go... Just like when I take my videos and I post teasers, or I'll post a link to my video on my Twitter, or I'll post it on... I don't use Facebook, but I've been doing shorts on Instagram, for example. And I don't put links. I'm doing it just so people recognize the brand. And then when they eventually do come to YouTube, they'll go, hey, I know that guy. I watched him on Instagram Reels. I'm going to subscribe to that guy. But this is the thing. Why would Trudeau think Meta would have to do anything? Well, this is where they're completely naive in this whole thing. They're completely naive in thinking that they're just going to comply and not change their behavior to avoid an externality. Because that's what that is. That's what you call that. An externality is a cost that's incurred that you ought not have to pay, or you may not want to pay. So you just externalize it. you have a bill that's due. Just gonna make it so that bill doesn't happen anymore. And it's very easy because honestly, and you have to really actually think about it this way. Social media companies are doing it in their own good graces to allow you to post links to other websites. Now, you may find that when you post certain kinds of links, they just get no traction. And that's because Meta, so Facebook, if you posted YouTube links way in the past, before they had video services, if you put a YouTube link, they would often just have it embedded in the Facebook and hope that you don't go off website. And then they started hiding the link so you could just watch it in there. But as soon as they started doing video, making it a video platform, they removed your ability to post. And it's not that you can't post a link to a YouTube video, but when you do, they throw it so far down the feed that no one will ever see it. It's gone. It's absolutely gone. And that's because they're direct competitors. If they're competitors, they have an incentive to make sure that nobody goes off site, and they'll punish you for trying to take people off site. And it makes complete sense. So when a social media platform is allowing for news media to have links everywhere on their website, they're actually doing it in their good graces to allow users to go off website and not penalize them, not penalize that post. That's actually in their good graces. And what they've done is they said, we don't want you to do it in your good graces anymore. And that's what they've done. So now you're going to see, if you're a Facebook user, you're not going to see any news articles. Now, is this all news? I don't know. And this is the thing that we're still yet to find out, because in part of this bill, which we weren't allowed to debate about, and there's still a lot that we don't know about, is they were trying to put together a thing where they determine who is news. And this is where the whole unintended consequences thing comes into play. And it could be quite funny in the end, actually, because in their attempt, Trudeau's government, in his attempt to squash independent media by labeling them not real news, you're not real news, they'll be exempt from this. Because if they're not real news, then they're not news. So it doesn't fall under the parameters of this legislation, of this regulation. And this is my interpretation of it. And tell me if I'm wrong on this. And I hope I'm not, because I think this is the way it's going. And this might be the unintended consequence of it, is that people who talk about politics and current events, I'm going to call it that from now on. I'm no longer calling any of this news. I do current events and I do politics and culture. And I'm an analyst. I analyze. VPN often cause running issues. Well, they can do that. But this is the funny part of the unintended consequences of this stupid piece of legislation. And what it may do is it may turn off the propaganda wing for Trudeau's government. It may completely, in one failed swoop, grab all that propaganda and crush it. And that's the title. And that's the reason for the title of tonight's stream, is because, are you kidding? Clyde is a provocateur. I don't provoke anybody to do anything. No way. I just discuss current events and things that matter to me. Let's just say culture, and politics and current events. But this is where we're at. So in their infinite wisdom, the Trudeau government, they attach two things that completely disincentivize social media from having their propaganda on social media. And this could actually be their undoing if it pans out the way I'm talking about. So if the first part of it is that only designated news sources can be officially called news, then what is going to happen is only those people are allowed to get revenue from the links that are mandated in this new piece of legislation that is, social media has to pay for the links to these official news sources. So anything unofficial will now be the norm instead of the official sources. So this may even go into YouTube as well, and I found this to be a real issue because when you're trying to make a video on a particular topic, you get buried by all the official sources. CBC, CTV, Global, all these news aggregators will bury you. You're never going to show up in the search anyway, but you will show up in the recommendations. And this is what drives this channel, and this is why I'm so keen on getting everybody to hit the like button, do the share thing, do what you can, because we got and I work so hard to make sure that I have relevant content every day, because you got to stay relevant in order for the algorithm to want to recommend your stuff out there. Have you watched National Lampoon's European Vacation, where the family went to London? Rusty was peeved because the only shows on TV were cheese and snow. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, social studies. We'll just call it the social studies channel. That's what we're gonna do here. I do social studies. That's what we do here on YouTube. But this is the case. So perhaps I'm analyzing this incorrectly, but it seems that all the chips are falling in this particular direction, and what it's really doing is it's crippling the ones that they were trying to unjustly give way too much power to in media. And I hope that's how it goes, because if YouTube is forced to comply, then obviously I don't know how that would work. If YouTube's forced to comply, it's all just about linking other media. So I may have to do something clever because I always like to source my material. So if I talk about a particular article, maybe I'm not even allowed to talk about their articles. We'll see moving forward. I don't know if that's going to be something that I can't do, because it is fair use. It still falls under fair use. I can talk about an article, but maybe I can't link to it. So maybe I'll have to find a clever way to get the sources for everybody, because I personally, in my opinion, I don't like when channels talk about a thing, but then don't give you sources so you can go look at the original for yourself, because I don't want anybody to take my opinion. Please don't just take my opinion at face value. Go look at the original content. I give you the links for this for a reason, so that you guys can tell me if I'm full of crap, right? That's the way things go. That's the way it should go. I love your show. Thank you so much. You'll have a harder time finding your sources. No, I won't have a hard time finding my... Well, if Google doesn't allow for it. But here's the thing. I go right to the websites. This is what I do. When I look for my news, like a lot of people are sharing this stuff on Twitter, but I'll go directly to the websites. Like I'll go to a number of the news aggregators that I trust in, a lot of the ones that I know are just spin or propaganda, and I'll see what everybody's talking about. And this is the thing. I wonder what it'll actually do for sites like this one. This is groundnews.com. It's not a social media. It's not a social media, but it is Ground News. It's an aggregator of news sources. So they'll take they'll take news sources from whatever, talking about a particular subject, and then they'll give you a biased distribution, who's saying what on what side of the aisle. It's hit and miss. It's not always, it's not always accurate, but sometimes it can be. Like it's saying here, 48% lean left. But then some of these are saying are right leaning and more heavily right leaning. I don't know. It's that grain of salt, because I've seen left leaning articles from Toronto Sun. We saw one from Kinsella. It seemed completely left leaning. But CBC News just a little bit left. Yeah. It's funny though that there is 33 plus to the left and only 8 to the right. That's funny. That's actually quite funny in its own right. But that's where we're at now. But so this isn't the only website that's been doing this stuff. So here's another article from CTV News, and this is back in, when was this? January, February? And this is, what is Bill C-18? And how do I know if Google is blocking my news content? Well, you're going to know real soon. But this was a test that they ran. They actually ran a test. First tabled in June 2022, Bill C-18 would essentially force companies like Google and Meta, which own Facebook, to negotiate deals to pay Canadian media companies for their content they link to preview on their websites and platforms. Why? Why would they'll just not do it? And wow, amazing prediction. They just didn't. They're just not going to allow the links on their website. It's so dumb. Wow. The bill introduces a new bargaining framework intended to support news businesses to secure fair compensation when their news content is made available by dominant digital news intermediaries and generates economic gain. Now, where is this getting economic gain? Well, you might be getting economic gain because a news aggregator website has subscribers or advertising, but whatever. If people are clicking on your link and go to your website, you should have an advertisement model ready, and or a paywall. Some people like the paywalls. Some people like the advertisements. I prefer the advertisements because paywalls just usually make me either find another app that will just rip the text and I'll get it, or I just won't read it. I'll just move on to somebody else who's written the same copy pasta from the original source anyway. And that's usually how things go. Clyde, bring up the Trudeau bowl haircut. Yeah, we've all seen that. But yeah, an explanatory note from the government says it seeks to support balanced negotiations between businesses that operate dominant digital news intermediaries and the businesses responsible for the news outlets that produce the news content. Well, don't share your stuff. Don't allow your stuff to be shared. Well, it looks like they won't allow their stuff to be shared against their will anyway. Like, oh, what a way to really, really reduce your readership. And this is unbelievable to me that they actually made this move. I had no idea that it was actually this hard-nosed on their approach, but it's really, really going to diminish their reach, their readership, their ability to reach people. It's just insane. Why is Google blocking news content? According to Google, the company is testing ways to comply with the new rules proposed in C-18. So how do you comply with people that say if you share our content, you have to pay us? Being compliant is making sure that your stuff doesn't get shared. Easy. Don't have to pay you. Funis with the super chat. They've got your guns now. Time to ban evil assault vitamins and supplements. Health Canada announced new regulations for supplemented foods today. So I was looking into that. I haven't got a story yet for that. But it's not their first attack on that, and they didn't succeed before. Let's hope they don't succeed this time. But yeah, vitamins and supplements. They were trying. This has been a move, not just in Canada but in the United States, for a long time. By the FDA, right? Well, it's by the FDA, but who owns the FDA? Well, they call it regulatory capture for a reason. It's because the companies that are supposed to be regulated by this industry are, you guessed it, paying the people that regulate the industry. And I've said this many, many times before. The first thing bought and sold when you regulate a market is the regulators. That's the way it works. You buy the people. These are the people. And if you look at it, if you watch the newest James O'Keefe on OMG Media, he found one of the BlackRock guys that just said just that. You can buy politicians. Just 10 grand, I could buy any senator right now. Okay, yeah, that's the stuff. But anyway, I will cover that story as soon as I have more information on the more contemporary version of this trying to get this stuff, trying to regulate you with the FDA supplements and vitamins. They've tried this before because they wanted to make it so you had to go through. They wanted to make it so there was a way higher burden on the companies that made the supplements in order to get FDA approval, so that it would make it so only the most rich companies like Pfizer and stuff would be able to comply, thus making them the only people available, the only companies available in the market. And yeah, and they actually wanted to make it subscription based or prescription based. Sorry, not subscription, prescription from a doctor. You'd have to be prescribed supplements like vitamins. Imagine going to get your Centrum. I gotta see a doctor, refill my prescription for Centrum Silver. Jason Abbey with a $5 super chat. Name 10 Trudeau liberal scandals in 30 seconds and get one named. What? And get 1.00 named. 10 Trudeau scandals? I mean, there's so many of them. All of them. The Aga Khan, the Wee scandal, the Lavalin scandal. Do I have to name 10? The scandal with, well, there's the contentious one that we all know. I can't get it in 30 seconds. No, I'm going to bumble all over that one. But the contentious one, the one Pierre brought up in the House of Parliament, that's not a real scandal. There's the Chinese interference scandal. There's the Bernardo scandal. There's too many. I'm all over the place. Too much to count. There you go. Trudeau certainly had the drama teacher. But anyway, thank you so much, Jason Abbey. Yeah, the drama teacher one, that is not a real story. And I do my research. That's not a real story. As many people as even though as many people want it to be true, because not because they want somebody to be harmed, but because they want Trudeau taken out. But he's done enough real stuff to be taken out on his own. How did I forget the most important one? The Emergencies Act. That's for me, that's the biggest scandal. It's a very beautiful story, though, isn't it? Yeah, it's a very beautiful story, right? Jason Abbey with the $10 super chat. 1.00 per right answer, or like $1 per right answer, but I counted 7. Okay. Well, appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Marco needs to be gone. Well, I put it out on Twitter that Marco was just as in the know as Trudeau was, so yeah, he needs to be gone. Yeah. Oh yeah, paying terrorists $10 million. Yeah, that's a thing. But anyway, so this bill C-18 business, I don't know what to make of it. I think they really screwed the pooch on this one. They thought that this was going to work out in their favor. I know what it does, though. It really they were trying to make this thing where only official sources could be news, or whatever. Now that it's passed, they're probably going to be scrambling to make amendments to it now that they realize how links work on the internet. You can't tax links. Like, what? Taxing links? It's just not going to work. People aren't going to pay it. And the reason why they want to go after the social media companies is because they don't have the ability to go after each user for each link. Period. They just can't do that. So what they want to do is go after the social media company. Here comes the lawsuits. They're going to challenge this on the grounds of Section 230. They're going to challenge this on the grounds of it's not their content. They're just a platform, and they're allowing other people to allow this content. But in the meantime, what's the response? It's gone. It's no longer available on your social media feed, and that's just the way it's gonna go, and that's the way it's gonna be. Now, there were some other stories that I wanted to get into, but we're over the 2-hour mark tonight, and I usually reserve it to about 2 hours, and then we go on into the Discord and we hang out, and everybody can have their opinions on the things that I was talking about tonight, as well as maybe some other topics around that have been going on in Canada, around the world, important things for everybody out there. But I want to invite everybody. The link is in the description down below if you would like to join the Discord, and you can jump in the chat where everybody's hanging out and chatting. And this is my chance to hear from you guys and the things that you have to say, other than the comments, which I have been more active in. I've been more active. I don't know if you guys have noticed that the ones that leave comments, I have been more active. Now, there are thousands of comments on the videos every day, so I try my best to read as many as I can, respond to as many as I can, and not take away from all the other things that I have to do to put the into the channel. But I have been putting a much bigger effort these days, because I have heard back feedback from people. Be more involved in the comment section, and I have been. That's what I've been doing. I've been putting a little more focus on that. You can always find me on Twitter as well if you want to leave a comment, you want to say something, and you think it might get, like, leave it anyway on YouTube. But if you really think, hey, this is important, tweet it at me. Get on Twitter. My Twitter is @ClydeDoSomething without the G. It's a thing. They didn't have enough characters for it on there, but yeah, definitely go over to Twitter, and there it is without the G. G-less Clyde on Twitter. But yeah, definitely go over. I've been noticing a lot more people engaging on Twitter these days, and it's a growing platform, and especially as video sharing becomes more prevalent on Twitter, I might start bringing content to Twitter that's unique to Twitter. Maybe short just takes on particular things that I could put up on Twitter that won't be takes that I put up on YouTube as well. And I'm not stopping YouTube, don't get me wrong. Jason Abbey with the $2 super chat. Challenge everyone to donate $2 to help Clyde. Wow. That's a call. That's a call to action if I've ever heard one. We'll stick around for a minute to see if there's any takers on that one. Wow. It's a glowing platform. Did I say that? It's a glowing platform. It's a growing platform. I've been hanging out with the in-laws too long, but my computer speed. Sorry, Clyde, do something. Oh, sorry. I had to discontinue Discord. It was making my computer slower and interfering with my computer speed. Sorry. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. You know, you can always just not have the program running at the time that you're doing other stuff. But hey, you don't even have to have the program. You can just run it in a browser as well. That's another option for Discord. But if not, then we'll see it. Funis gifting 5 memberships to the channel. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, of course. Again, I'm gonna be more active in the comments, as I've been doing this past week or so, and I love to hear everybody's engagement, and I try to read as many of the comments as I possibly can. But I do see, one thing I do see and I really appreciate is the community of people replying to each other and conversations happening in the comments there. And I had no idea that also on Instagram, there is such a booming amount of back and forth commentary in the comment section there as well. So if you're an Instagram user, make sure you're following on the Instagram. Again, same handle at Clyde Do Something with a G at Instagram. But yeah, so, and those are videos that you can share on Meta, by the way, because people are going to be thirsty for newsy type stuff, because of course I share current events. But I'm not your buddy guy with a Canadian $2 super chat. Who will win in a cage match, Elon or Zuckerberg? I am a big fan of Elon Musk. I like the guy for some of the stuff he's been doing. But I seriously think Zuckerberg, he's a robot, and he's been training in that MMA stuff. So that's going to be a Zuckerberg if I ever thought anything. I think Zuck's that's a Zuck win for sure. Clyde, I'm in BC, Kelowna. Nice. Good to hear from all our people from all over Canada. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask where everybody was from. I know it's not Clyde. What? What's not Clyde? If that's people asking what's my real name, it is Clyde actually. Almsy with a $2 super chat. Elon for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking Zuckerberg. Apparently he's been training MMA for a good amount of time, and that's a thing that he does. So, like again I said, I hope the best for Elon, but I think Zuck would probably have the moves. Beer has gone up in BC, so Clyde needs some more cash to buy beer. There you go. Well, I'm going to end this now, and I appreciate everybody that's come out today. A really good turnout for the live stream. Lots of fun. Maybe it was the clickbaity thumbnail that brought everybody in there. Maybe it's just the community, and you guys are the best community on this platform and on this internet. Dude, I said it's not Clyde that's blocking my topic about Trudeau. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's I didn't. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. I'm gonna have myself a weekend, and I'm gonna go pick berries with the family and get a whole thing going. Jason Abbey with the $2 super chat. Rogan will train Musk. If that happens, then my money's on Musk. There you go. But yeah. I'm going to go pick some berries so we can stock up for next winter and hopefully have jam all winter long. That is the plan. But we're going to go do that. And I hope everybody else has a great weekend as well. Don't take things too harshly. Try to stay on the positive side of things and live a good life. Make sure that you put your family first and try to keep everything going good, nice and positive in your life. I just want to put that out there because some people were saying that I was being a bit negative, and I hope that isn't actually the case, that I've been being negative, that I've been negative, and hopefully everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you all on Monday.